Hello and welcome back to another video, and today we are here on MotoGP 08 checking out a 2026 mod for the game. It is absolutely crazy that there are people still modding this game. It's a classic. It's probably my favourite MotoGP game. It's my first one I ever played. I remember playing it on the PS2, so I do love to come back every so often and check this stuff out. You can see in the bottom left corner there, the creator of the mod, Bumblebee 8K. Go and check out his channel. Really good mod. I have had a little look at it before we've actually got into the video and installed it, made sure it was working correctly. But without any further ado, let's get straight into it. You can see obviously the logo is there in the top right as well, so credit where credit is due. Now, the version I have, I think, is slightly outdated, so we only have the MotoGP class, but that's fine because that's all I'm interested in for this sort of one-off video anyway. So there you go, that gives you a taster straight away with Luca Marini, but we'll scroll to Marc Marquez and we will go through the entire list. So you've got Marc Marquez here then, of course, Pecco Bagnaia, his teammate, Alex Marquez, Fermin Aldeguer. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy that everything's done. So nationality does seem to be incorrect there, but I don't know if that's something that can actually be changed in the game. So there are going to be some slight little problems with it, and like I say, maybe they've been updated because I have got a slightly older version of the mod. But it is crazy just seeing all the liveries on these like old chassis and how well they fit, because the Ducati especially, I think this is like the Suzuki of the time, actually kind of looks like a similar shape, to be quite honest. Actually doesn't look that bad. This is the Aprilia, I think this is the Yamaha that they're replacing, so Bezzecchi and Jorge Martin. We've got Alex Rins and Fabio Quartararo, again also on the Yamahas as you would expect. We've got Jean Zarco on the LCR Honda. Now, he does appear to have the same livery as Moreira, but I guess that is some sort of restriction again with the game. Like I said, you are going to have some slight problems with what is possible with a game that is cracking up for 20 years old now, which makes me feel old to say, to be quite honest. We've got Brad Binder and Pedro Acosta, of course, on the factory KTM team. Raul Fernandez and Iagora on the Gulf Trackhouse bike, so it's actually got the Gulf livery, of course. That's what was used in the first few races, so probably why they've gone with that one. Toprak Razgatlioglu, of course, on the Pravac Yamaha, and Jack Miller, of course, alongside him as well. We've got the Tech 3 KTM team, so Enea Bastianini and Maverick Vinales. BR46 with Fabio Di Gianantonio and Morbidelli. Obviously, again, you can see kind of the names have had to be shortened where possible, because I think you've restricted on who the original rider was that was being replaced. And we've got Luca Marini and Joan Mir on the factory Hondas. Now, another pretty cool thing about this is you'll notice that there's more than 18 riders. Back in 2008, there was only 18 riders, and previously when I've checked out mods like this, it's usually restricted that amount, but they've actually managed to add the extra riders in, which is really cool. So I think for this video, I will be going as Fabio Quartararo, and then in terms of tracks, of course, I don't think anything like this can be edited in the game, so we've still got the standard 2008 tracks, but we've got Jerez, and since that is going to be the next race weekend, we may as well head into Jerez, have a look at the difficulty level. Then we've got easy level. We'll go on. I'll go on hard. You know, we'll go for it. And arcade handling, yeah, I'll stick with that. We'll stick with sunny weather. So let's head down to the grid as Fabio Quartararo. Here we are then, down on the track. You can see again, it looks even kind of cooler seeing it like in the flesh. It's one thing to see it in the menu, but when you're actually on the track and to see it, we'll just have a little look at this warm-up lap here. It is just crazy to see a game that I remember playing, you know, when I was like maybe 7 years old. Obviously, it's a PC version, so it's a little bit better than the version I had because I had the PS2, which was obviously the last gen version at the time. But to see it still being supported, still being loved, and having the modern bikes in it, it's just crazy to me. I love this kind of stuff. So here we are at the back of the grid. The lights went out pretty quick in this game. We've got a few different camera angles to pick from. We've had a pretty good start. Well, apparently we're on a San Carlo Grassini. We'll ignore that. We'll allow him to get away with that one. But we've made a couple of spots. We've passed. Well, we had passed Vinales. We passed Toprak, but I think they have both got back through. It's actually Miller, not Toprak. I saw the day and easy assumed it was Toprak. So I think this is going to be the best camera. Oh no, this one. This is a better camera angle. Obviously, I picked the arcade handling, so that does hold us back a little bit, because I feel like the game is sort of braking for me and accelerating. So we go into the Cito Pons corner. But I'll tell you what, they back in 2008, they did not have the accuracy of the tracks. I mean, the games these days aren't even the best for that, but that is certainly not even close to how that corner is in real life. We try diving on the brakes here. Oh, we've absolutely rammed down the gear. Sorry, Fernin. Who else have we knocked off there? I think we knocked Agora off as well. Feel like I was overstretching a little bit there. to try and keep with the hard AI, and it has absolutely gone to pot. So here for attempt number 2 now, and again, lights going out really, really fast. I've turned the difficulty down to medium rather than hard because it looked like I just wasn't good enough, frankly, to keep up with them. So we will give this one a go again. It looks like so far we are having a much better time of it. I've put advanced physics on as well now, so it shouldn't be holding me back as much through the corners because it was like putting the brake on when I was trying to get on the gas, which isn't ideal. But either way, I've commentated away the first couple of corners there. We've passed half the grid. We've passed Brad Binder there. We're right behind our teammate Rins and Aldeguer as well now. So let's try not to take Furman out this time. On the inside we go of Aldeguer and Ralph Fernandez, and I think Pekka was on the outside there. One of the VR46 boys, both the VR46 boys. So we're up to 7th place as we go through the totally not Cito Pons corner and down towards what obviously was at the time Dry Sack, but of course now in 2026 is the Danny Pedrosa corner. We've run onto the grass. So that's given us a few places away. Past Digi once again. Try and get the inside of Morbidelli. Oh, Alex! Oh, we've hit Alex Marquez. So we are bullying the Grassini riders in this video, it seems. Back up into 5th place, trying around the outside of Jorge Martin. We have done so. Bezecchi's holding back Acosta. We've passed them, and oh, we've hit Mark. We've hit Mark. Oh, how has he stayed on there? I have no idea how Marquez has stayed on. That is pretty incredible. So back down into 3rd place. Again, just looking at this this part of the track, the scaling is certainly interesting. Obviously, again, like I'm saying, we are getting on for 20 years since this game came out. 18 years it'll be this year because it's 2026, which, again, like I said, is absolutely crazy. But at the end of lap 1 here, then Marquez is still leading, so we're definitely not cutting our way through the pack quite as efficiently as we could be, although obviously we've still got 2 laps to try and overtake the 9-time world champion. So we're trying around the outside. He boxes clever there. He holds us off. Alex Marquez behind us crashed. Wow, that was a bit of a sort of an MX jump there into the Michelin corner from Mark. So yeah, certainly a little bit strange is my takeaway. Is the scaling and the track and obviously the physics themselves. But we've gone around the outside of Mark now, up into the lead of the race. And wouldn't it be great to see this Fabio Quartararo on the Yamaha battling back at the front? So we've got a brief taster of it back in Brazil with that 4th place qualifying. And obviously last year here at Jerez, he was phenomenal. It was the first of his quite a few pole positions in the season. And we've got into the gravel. So again, we've got the Danny Pedrosa corner pretty badly wrong. And somehow we've barely lost any time from that one. We've dropped that to 4th place. 5th place now as Martin comes through. But felt like I was in the gravel for ages before Mark actually came past. So we're trying to go around the outside of Bez and Pedro. We have done, and we're back at the outside of Mark. So off the track we go, and within the corner, already back up into the lead. Tricky, it does seem to find an actual AI difficulty for me, because obviously we are we're dominating them quite a bit. And I actually want to have a little look here in orbit mode, which is like the photo mode of back in the day, and I just want to admire the texture work on this. As someone obviously that makes a lot of mods myself, I do have an eye for these kind of things, and I appreciate it. But like, look at that! Look how good that looks. Almost looks like there is some sort of porting that's gone across of the leathers in particular. Looks like so like that like Alphastyles logo and the Michelin and the Yamaha looks so much like the current game ones. It's almost like there is some way that they've managed to kind of port back the old suits like onto these 2008 models. But it just looks good. It just looks really good. I mean, it's a fantastic mod. So Marquez comes past us then. That Ducati power blasting past the Yamaha as we start this final lap. So we have got a bit of a fight on our hands for the win here. So it's not going to go all my way. As we've got the inside of Mark. Lovely stuff. Is he going to get back as though? Yes, he does. So Marquez at the moment still just hanging on to the lead. I'm really not trying to make a race to this. It just is the way it's going. We've just absolutely railed around the outside of him there. So again, that is the I was going to say the inline 4 turning, but of course it would be a V4 now with the 2026 Yamaha. And look at how much we've gapped him. So it seems like the fast corners is where they're losing a lot of the time. Everywhere else they don't seem too bad. So we might have to go with somewhere that's quite a slow corner circuit. And that might close things up a little bit. So here we go then, up towards the line. Quartararo is going to win here at Jerez on MotoGP 08 with the 2026 mod. It still feels really strange to say. So of course back in the day you actually had the highlights at the end of the races. I don't know if I'll have to mute this part because of the music that tends to be in the old games. They are copyrighted, but you can see we are making some passes. Again, this is just like small little things that they had them even up to MotoGP 13. I think they might have got rid of them after that, or maybe they are even in sort of 15, 14 as well. But things like this, they are quite cool. It's like a little highlights reel at the end of the race, just showing sort of the best bits that were going on. The old Superbike games had them as well, and I don't know, like something like this is such a small feature, and I certainly probably wouldn't look at it very much, and I don't know how difficult it would be to develop as a feature, but the 2000s games to me, I don't know if it's because I was a kid in that era and those are the games that I played and I grew up with, but for me, they just have a lot more charm about them. They've just got those attention to detail, little things. Well, that's Alex Marquez's crash there. Rear came round on him as he was battling away with Bagnaia, and there was a bit of a collision as well going on. I think this is me recovering after the off-track excursion as well, going back up the inside of Martin. He'd picked the bike up properly there. So after the highlights, we're now on to challenge mode. This is the other thing that I wanted to talk about. This kind of stuff, we've got 50 challenges here. Now, I feel as though challenges kind of got replaced a little bit in this generation. So this was like the first MotoGP game. I was going to say the first MotoGP game on the next-gen consoles like Xbox 360, but it wasn't actually, because MotoGP 06 and 07 were the THQ ones, at least, on the Xbox 360. But, you know, it's early in that era. And I feel like challenges kind of got replaced a little bit by achievements that came along afterwards. Now, of course, we did have the historic events in the more recent games, like the 9 season was also the most recent one. But things like this one here, look. Well, it's just Nicky Hayden, because they haven't edited this stuff. But it says your brake discs are looking worn. Let's have a look at this one, because it means you're limited to the amount of brake you actually use. And I don't know which rider it is going to actually put me as. Marc Marquez, apparently. So here we go. We're Marc Marquez with a limited amount of brake time here at Assen. And you can see in the top right corner, you've got it. If I hit the brakes there, just shows you how much it's using. I've used a good chunk of it at turn 1, but you know, just like little things like that, right? Like, you don't get anything like this in a current game. And maybe it was an era of its, you know, a relic of its era. Maybe, like I say, it's obviously replaced a little bit by achievements, and maybe games are a bit more serious now. Obviously, like this game, it does have a simulation setting, because Milestone were definitely more simulation than THQ, who kind of made the games before them, but it's still a bit of more of an arcade like race, a bit more casual kind of game, right? Whereas obviously these days they try and make things quite realistic. Like little things like this, they're fun to do. And I've just run on the grass, as you know, I'm terrible at playing this game, so just coming straight onto it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you agree with me that like having stuff like this is just nice? It's a little nice to have, because in the current games, right, you can either do a quick race, which, you know, doesn't have a lot of purpose, or you can play career mode, and that's it. Like, those are your only options. Okay, I guess you could do a championship with a real rider if you really want to. And career mode's fun. It's especially with the rider transfers and all the stuff they've got these days, but it kind of feels a little bit flat. And obviously you can play it online as well, which is always an interesting one. We're going to actually run out of brake here. We're going to have to tip it into the chicane and kind of hope. Yeah, we made it through. So we're literally just getting to the line with enough time and enough brake left. And then at the end of it, you unlock a picture like this. I mean, again, it's just little unlockables, little things like this. Like, for me, like adding a challenge mode, obviously, like I said, they had the 9 season mode. It would be something similar to that. I don't think it's massive development time. I'm not sure, licensing-wise, whether you'd be allowed to say that the brake discs are a bit worn nowadays. Probably not. But you could still say it's just a challenge. Try and use less than X seconds of brake throughout the lap. It's just fun. There are other ones as well. So there's another one here with Hayden. We'll go for a different one. Pedrosa scenario. Pedrosa's fallen on a wet track. Let's go and do this one. Don't know how many laps we actually get for this. Some of them are quite long, so I hope this is not too long. But yeah, we've got 3 laps here, or 4 laps, should I say. And we are Bagnaia. Bagnaia's just crashed at turn 1, and we've got to try and come back through the pack and get a good result. So that's what we're going to do. So we go around the outside of Jean Mir. We pass him, we're up into 17th place, up into 16th, so you can see that 18th restriction does seem to be back for the challenges. It's probably because they're set up in specific scenarios to have certain riders be in certain positions. We've got the kind of Raul Fernandez up into the points pay position. Martin's pretty far down the order, actually. I mean, obviously this is based on the real-life 2008 German GP, so I suspect this is just the positions everybody was in at the time. Marc Marquez, pretty low down the order there. Obviously, you know, Marc Marquez and Zarco were not in this race, but obviously the riders that are replacing in the 08 game were in those positions, so I guess like Vermeulen was probably down in that position. So we go past Iagora. We're up now into 11th place. Looks like probably Alex Marquez is winning then from Bezzecchi. At the inside we go over Costa. Who is winning then? Because we've passed Marc Marquez. maybe these challenges are a little bit bugged on the mod. We'll see. And again, prime example of terrible scaling. That is horrific. At the last corner there at the Saxon Ring. We're up into the top 10. So let's try and hunt down Alex Rins. We'll dive him into turn 1 where we've just crashed supposedly. Totrak up in the top 10 as well, doing a pretty good job. And so we go Totrak. Past Aldeguer. So up into 7th place now, so we are probably going to win this still. I'm interested to see who's actually leading, because... Oh, and I've crashed again. Bagnaia has hit the deck again. Let's try and pick the bike up. It's going to take me a while to get back on, looks like. Still in 8th place, so I think we'll probably still get an alright result, although I don't think we're going to win now with that crash. Pushing a bit too hard in these wet conditions. Inside of Moreira, Jack Miller, obviously wet specialist near the front. Fabio Quartararo, go past him. Alex Marquez is P3 then, so who is actually winning the race? Because it's not Martin and it's not Marquez, because we've passed both of them. So there's Bezecchi. Can we try and make a lunch on him? You know what? I think it is Marquez. Is there 2 Marquezes in this? Oh, it's Marini. Of course, the other Mar that's left. I was trying to figure out. I saw red. I was like, maybe it is Mark. Here we go. Go for the lead. At either side of Luca Marini into turn 1. Bagnaia hits the front, although Marini's got the cutback. Trying around the outside, being held up a little bit. Try and get around him. We just can't do it. He's blocking. He's boxing pretty clever here. So we go around the outside of Luca. Can we get him? No, it's tricky to actually get them in the slow corners. Like I was saying earlier, it's the fast corners where they lose all the time. And the slower stuff, they're actually not too bad. Try not to crash there again like I did on the last lap, although I think it would be okay. I'd probably still catch back up. So here we go. Up towards the line. Bagnaia is going to recover from 2 crashes to win here at the Sachsenring. Now, if that happens in real life, that'll certainly be a turn up for the books. And with that, we'll unlock a picture of Danny Pedrosa Estoril, I think it's the chicane at Estoril. But I think that's where I will end it for today's video. Obviously, the mod is really, really good. Like I say, I'm really, really impressed with it. And when I was looking at the textures and stuff, it does look a really, really good mod. So if you are happening to play MotoGP 08, give it a try. As you can see, Bumblebee 8K, I'll leave a link to the channel in the description. So you can go check out the mod if you are interested. But I kind of wanted to just use it as a kind of excuse to have a look back at MotoGP 08 with a bit of a different twist. And I guess the title of the video is probably going to be like MotoGP 26 Killer or something like that. So let me know in the comments, guys. What do you think about these little features, and if those are things that are missing these days? Obviously, we do have bigger issues, like there are fundamental problems with AI and things like that that do need to be sorted. But just as little extras, this kind of stuff just gives the game a lot more charm, in my opinion. Again, maybe I'm biased because I grew up in the era of this game, and basically all the games had this kind of stuff. So maybe I'm a boomer and I miss it, or whatever. Maybe an uncle or whatever people want to call you these days. But yeah, let me know in the comments below, guys. But I hope you did enjoy that one. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I shall see you in the next one.